We're continuing with the topology we used in the video before the cost video, where routers 3 and 4 are in area 23. We have the adjacency there. We left router 2 out of there. So right now on router 1, we're seeing what we expect to see, a path to 172.23.23.0/24, our Ethernet segment, through router 3. I also got rid of the stub routing, but that's not going to impact us here, because what I'm wondering is, how could we keep this route on router 1's table if we want to lose the adjacency between routers 3 and 4? Let's go down to router 3 and play around with that a little bit. Because one thing you would think we could do is just get rid of the network statement under OSPF. So that'll get rid of an adjacency, no doubt about it. The problem with that, I believe, is that we're immediately going to lose that network from router 1. So that would not take care of the situation. So there's our message about losing. Okay, so let's go to router OSPF 1. And we'll just put the network right back in. Wait for our adjacency to come back up. It should be pretty quick on a broadcast segment. And we went from loading to full there, and now might take a few seconds that route, and there we go. So we see the route back, but again, what we want to do, or what we've been asked to do, is keep that route on router 1 while not keeping the adjacency between routers 3 and 4. We can do that with the OSPF passive interface command, and let's take a look at how we apply that. Is it under here? Yep, it sure is. So even though the word interface is in the command, don't go to the interface to configure this. You're going to do it under the OSPF config. And what you're doing with the passive interface command is suppressing routing updates on an interface, slightly misleading in the case of OSPF, because what you're actually stopping is the hellos. You're not going to be sending those out anymore. So we've got an interesting setting that we can use here too. And that's default. Now you may look at this and say, why would I want to make passive interface the default? Because then I don't have any adjacencies, and then in that case, why am I even running OSPF? The reason you might want to do that, let's say that you had, I don't know, 24 interfaces on a router, and you wanted 2 of them to be non-passive and the other 22 to be passive. Well, what you could do is then make passive interface the default and then run the no passive interface command and name the ones that you didn't want to be passive. So that's why you would do that. In this case, we're just going to make E0 a passive interface. No other options, that's it. And we lose our adjacency pretty darn quickly there, from full to down, interface down, or detached. So we don't even have to wait for the dead time to expire on that. It's just gone. Let's go up to router 1. And you can see the network is still there. Now it did reset. You know, it's only been in there for 6 seconds, so it was refreshed. But you can see now it's in there, and it's going to be in there for good. And we can ping, say, 172.23.23.3, and there it is. There's no problem. So again, the passive interface command, not exactly an interface we use terribly often, but in specialized situations, it's a good idea to cut, you're cutting down on your overhead a little bit, and you're just saying, hey, I'm not going to send hellos out here because I don't want adjacencies, but I do want to advertise this network's availability in OSPF. We saw that if you remove the network command, which is the obvious solution, then you're not going to be advertising that network via OSPF any longer. Use the passive interface command on the interface that you don't want adjacencies over, but that you still want to advertise, and you're good to go. That's it for passive interface.